And we're live, back with another episode of the Timsy Podcast, episode number 9.
It's my baby.
How y'all doing?
We're chilling, man. Damn, there wasn't any hype today. Bring the energy. Let's go.
That was
We're
the
back,
hype.
guys.
That was the country
You didn't
club
clap,
hype.
nah, nigga.
Yeah.
We're in the Bronx. There we go. Ain't no
I'm
country club.
not there today.
Oh, really?
Nah, I'm still uptown though.
Oh, look. This nigga, he thinks he's better than us already, huh? Oh, what in the glass, too? I'm not there today. Well, I'm drinking Fiji, so.
We are here sleepy.
Nah, you guys can tell I'm mad tired, but yo, gotta do it.
Yeah.
So
These glasses are hurting. I'm
chilling.
I tried to keep them on for the pod, but okay.
So
Yeah,
we
the glasses were
have
hurting.
episode 9. Patrick,
Wow. Almost
Hassan,
10.
Stalin. So
Who?
guys, what did it? Who?
That ain't me. I don't know that nigga.
My name is like, oh, my bad. Nah, but what they make y'all say this week though? Who would like to share their?
I'll start. I
Okay.
want to talk about how weird the world is at this very moment. It is so weird. There's a lot of things that are happening. I'm about to go into my conspiracy theory bag, but there's a lot of things that are happening that's kind of.
Brace yourself.
Now look, this is what they doing though. You know,
listen, man.
it's
No,
like
no. Let me tell you. Look at my eyes. They're open wide. Listen to me.
it's the 5G inside of your cookies and
Cookies.
Yo, we see like all the connections in his little whiteboard right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything. Sorry, it makes sense.
No, you put a curtain on. It's mad at the like pictures of folks and stuff too.
The tiny little pictures.
So
But no, there's just a bunch of things that are happening that I think everyone should pay attention to.
Like what?
Feds, I know you're watching. The reintroduction of federal what do you call it when they kill an inmate in prison?
That sentence?
Yeah, death sentence. There's a reintroduction of it, and there's been 2 inmates that have already been gone through that and I've died essentially. But I just find it interesting.
Though, has it?
Nah, but like it's becoming a bit more rampant lately.
No, it
What
depends.
state?
Yeah, certain states like they've always been legal to do that.
Yeah.
But most states don't do it. But that's weird.
Yeah, but I read something along the lines of damn, I wish we had an intern that could pull this up. I read something along the lines of I'm gonna try to pull it up here that like
Yo, Jamie, pull that up real quick.
Yo, Jamie, come on, we don't pay you for nothing, man. Pull that up. I read something along the lines of that, like being pop. Give me a second. Well, besides that, there's also there was this young executive who started what you might call it, a company in Nigeria called. It was a motorcycle ride sharing company. I think Fahim Saleh was his name. He was 33 years old. He was found in his Manhattan apartment, I think yesterday, dead, but he was chopped up and his head was mutilated and like his body was just cut into pieces and spread across. And this dude was a millionaire. And it's interesting to see such a young, like, creative, young, self-made, like, billionaire just go through that. And I just got an update this morning saying his assistant was arrested. The NYPD arrested his assistant, but the story is still developing. And it's interesting. It's just a lot of weird things are happening, man. And I also just read they recently found a plague on a squirrel. Not to scare anybody here, but a lot of things are lighting up, and it's just a weird time we're living in. And that's how I'm feeling this morning. This is pretty weird. I'll get back to you guys on the death sentence thing.
All right.
I'm gonna look it up. But that's how I'm feeling. It's some
I'm
form
feeling
of
weird.
Yeah, weird vibe.
Feeling
Like
dirty.
2020 vibes. It's like, ew, yo, my nigga.
2020. Yeah.
Disgusting. Yeah. But no. Exactly how I'm feeling. It's just I don't know what's going on, man. I really don't know. But I'm also not surprised at any new things that are happening or bringing. Coming up to like if another pandemic pulled up, I'm like, well, it's 2020. What can I say?
It's like
You
it's like in the WWE when you thought the guy won the match.
And then another guy just stops running.
And then the Undertaker comes out of nowhere. You hear the music. Like, what else do we have? It's like thank God 2020 is over.
Oh!
No!
Grabs the chair.
Wait, what's this?
That's a new month after December.
Oh, no.
Coromba. I'm so sorry.
You know,
Anyway.
be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Coranta, you know. Yeah, it's not working.
So, Stalin, what did make you say this week, man?
Man, this week
Uh-oh.
this week was chill for me, man.
They
made me go play soccer.
Oh,
I'm playing soccer later today too. Actually,
bro, it was amazing. Where at?
St. Mark's, St. Mike's in Astoria.
Nah, that's deep.
Yeah, that's deep for me, but like I haven't played in a
Wait,
minute.
actually, I might see how far it is in bike. I've been biking everywhere.
You can pull up. Mustafa's coming. All two Mustafas and Ahmed is gonna be there too. So.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, St. Mike's. I remember St. Mike's. I'm gonna check it out. What time are you guys going?
5.
5. All right. I'm gonna see. Bro, I played and I was like, I'm dead. I'm like,
you're like
so
you
sore. Bro,
I felt record now.
It was amazing, but yeah, I'm like sore. Like after but I still had it, muscle memory. I scored like 4 goals.
What the hell? Hold on, nah, it's because I wasn't there. Get the hell out of here.
Stop
I watched you play with like some 3-year-olds. I scored 4 goals. He just pushes down.
Nah, bro, it was with the New York Red Bulls training club. You heard?
Oh, word? Actually, one of my boys plays for that.
Nah.
One of my boys plays for NYCFC, actually.
Oh,
I
really?
met another guy at like my job who played for Washington, like on the actual team. And I still talk to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, whenever." I mean, that was prior to Corona, but he invited me to a game.
Oh, he's gonna fly you out?
Oh yeah, he's gonna fly. He's gonna fly me out. You know, we're sucker friends, man. Football friends, the real football.
Football.
Bro, you gotta fix the MLS. That's a discussion for another day.
Oh yeah, for sure. But let's see how out of shape I am today. I'll find out today. All that running, I've been doing every freaking day. Like let's see if it paid off.
Yeah, bro. The first 30 minutes, I was like, and then like my body just like adapted really quickly. It's really weird.
Really, it comes back like that. I actually sent Patrick an article regarding aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, and lactate acid buildup, and how they've used that science to kind of figure out how to condition yourself and condition your heart and grow it. It wasn't a Joe Rogan podcast, but I sent it to him. It was very interesting. They've really broken it down to the teeth and like the amount of seconds and everything. I was like, if I was to go back to school, this wouldn't be something bad. I would actually be interested in studying about this because I'm interested in that lifestyle as well and working out and So I'm gonna see how I do today because if that whole running around
hey,
thing doesn't help.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be the goalie.
I'm gonna be the goalie. Y'all go ahead now. It's like Hassan, there's no goalie. No, I said go ahead now. Now, leave me alone. I'm the goalie.
Man,
how about you, man? What did make you say this week?
Again, just I think everyone just needs to chill with the whole. I mean, you started to. I don't know if you were really even talking about conspiracy theories, but
Oh no, I
I
wasn't.
feel like a lot of times everything is kind of right in front of a face. Not right in front of our face on what they're putting in the news, but from a sense of what's actually understood of what's happening just right behind the veil. So I think I sent y'all something about the public schools. They're trying to send people back already.
Oh yeah, New
Um,
York needs to chill with that whole 3 day
yeah,
non.
and the thing
No,
is that people have such short term memory. When earlier in this administration, what they wanted to do was cut funding from the public schools.
what's her
And
name again? I forgot the
Betsy
lady's name. Betsy
DeVos,
DeVos.
something like
Piece of
whatever. Her
crap.
little,
I said it.
she's
Piece of
like a little
crap.
troll, doll.
She's a
But
little devil. That's what she is.
yeah. So she originally wanted to cut the funding, but now they're saying if you don't go back in there as students, teachers, all that good stuff, they're gonna cut your funding as penalty for not going back in time when they really wanted to just do that anyway. So everyone has to like have some better memory, like just make sure you can navigate those things clearly so you're not sitting there. I don't know what type of theory
I'm
someone
if I
could
have
come
a
up with,
kid, I'm
but
not sending any of my kids to school
yeah,
up
yeah,
to 2022. Nah, you guys are good. Just stay home. Watch Khan Academy or something.
yeah. So I mean, to me, it's just kind of disturbing because people aren't actually researching for themselves. Like, we'll just watch a video of a person, and that's like gospel to us, or see one post of like half an article on someone's IG story, and that's
Half an article.
not really like it. That's how it's been. Like, oh, let me read this. Like, this happened to this person. No details, nothing. Just people, and then someone will repost it. I'm like, you believe that, or that's just the one thing that you saw?
Yeah, people
So
don't actually do their research. Obviously, once
they
we see
need
Yeah,
to.
something on
man.
social
There's so
media, we
much
just want to share.
misinformation going on through like
There's
social
a
media.
lot,
Oh yeah,
especially on Instagram. I'm like, yo, why
Yeah.
did you just share that? Do you even know? You know nothing about this.
People get their info from memes.
Yo,
I'd be like,
facts. I feel
word.
like memes could actually be used to propagate the right messages if everyone was knowledgeable and did their research. Also, Stalin, I'm jealous of your mug, bro.
Oh yeah, that's my dad's mug. But I'd be taking
Wow, it's a family heirloom. Like he feels like the man now. He like he's yeah,
You already know.
ain't nobody. I'm the boss.
Yeah, it's our
Who
his
pays the
his
bill? It's our mug.
our mug.
yeah, it's my dad's the initial for my dad's first name and the initial for my middle name, which is the same name as my
Look, he
father.
put himself in there. He put himself in there. I like that. I
Yeah.
like the font on it. It's really. It
Yeah,
kind of has a
that-
retro
It kind of
vibe.
looks like
Richie
damn.
Rich.
No. What was that? Was that SpongeBob? When he's like staying up trying to write
Oh, it's,
something
yeah, he
in
does
the
a T.
tea.
Oh yeah.
It's like almost there.
I was like, oh, he breaking through. Just one letter on the page. Hey, bro, you might as well just
Bro, that used
Oh,
to be
I
me
bet.
like every single
Essays, right?
essay, bro. But my best stuff always came out under pressure. My teacher
Mm.
was like, one time was like, "Yo, this is like the best essay you've written so far." Meanwhile, I was there with no sleep. I was like, "Yeah, you know."
Yeah. Oh, he's taking now.
I was like,
Nigga
"Thank you,
falling
thank you."
asleep. Nigga goes right to the back of the class. Have you guys actually slept in class and gotten caught?
No, I'm just not going to class.
Ah.
Just let me-
And sometimes like I have to. Those are classes where like attendance is mandatory or you fail.
Yeah.
Nah,
I'm,
like
like,
I would
sitting
do
there,
that
like-
where they, especially with the response cards.
Oh, the clicker.
I would just like kind of peek into the auditorium and like do my thing, and then I would dip.
Nigga doing anything to avoid going to class.
I didn't.
But no,
even
I was talking
know.
about smaller classes. I used to just give my clicker to someone until they started, getting people like the professors would send what you call it, adjuncts or no, the assistant professors, the
TAs?
students, but TAs to walk around and our friend used to have like 7 clickers because nobody would go in, and they used to just all lined up.
Nah. I would. Whenever something like that was happening, I'd be like, yo, like somebody got to be here. That's like I
Yeah.
remember sometimes if someone would have the answers to a test, but the person that always fails the fucking test just magically gets an A. I'm like, no, bro. You need to get like
Excuse
a
me?
C plus or a B minus, so it
Mhm.
looks, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We
If
can't
this is
have.
an L,
You can't get an A plus.
oh,
I'm
I have
sorry,
a
bro.
crazy college story, bro. It's so crazy. I think I'll save it for another day though.
All right.
But,
Well,
it
who
has
wants
to do
to?
with like
You
what
want to
else?
introduce a topic?
No, you do it, man. I want you to do it.
Oh damn, what we talking about? No, I'm playing.
I don't know, man. They want me to cancel Adobo, and I said, nah, I'm not doing that. I even have Adobo in my coffee, man. Don't play with me.
I'm about to cancel you for these fucking jokes.
You see my screen go dark? Well, that took care of that.
Cancel
I
Hassan
started-
from comedy.
Ah! That's pretty funny, man. Stop playing, bro. Come on.
Oh yeah, we can make a meme for that.
Excuse me, I'm right here. It's like, nah, let's make fun of him. I'm sitting right across from you.
It's like what you think you look like joking, and it's like a comedian instead of what you really look like.
Wow. I bet. I'm gonna get you with your freaking camera. What you thinking? What you think you look like on set?
End of the podcast.
So you go here, technical difficulties.
Oh my
You
god.
shoot Stanley's entire video on the phone, vertical mode. No, I
I'm
got
like-
you. Just where's your money, bro?
It's an artistic choice, bro.
Mm. All right.
Now, a lot of people
so
are actually using
today
their phone.
we are talking about cancel culture. So, gentlemen,
What
question
cancel
for y'all.
culture? What's up?
It's already been canceled.
Uh,
Nah, but do y'all believe cancel culture has a true place in society? Part one of this question. Part two, brace yourself. If you do believe that, then who should it be used for?
Yo, F cancel culture. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it's not real to me. You can't really. What does canceling someone actually mean?
I was looking up online that's saying like it's supposed to mean that you're boycotting them, in a sense.
Okay, but if the person gives no damns whatsoever, what are you essentially canceling?
But why you
Like-
feel that way?
I get it if it's like a form of economic cancellation. Like, let's say the person, the organization, like Starbucks. I'm still, boycotting Starbucks because of their.
Where you get that Fiji from?
Oh, I bought that. I didn't buy that from Starbucks, bro.
I'm playing.
I bought this from a deli in the city, bro.
Mhm.
Mellow mama in the deli. She was ready. Hey, she was ready. Okay, I'm sorry. I was on it heavy.
It's not that episode. I told you what episode.
Okay, it's not my song. This is 5 years song. So you think I can come up with something like that
you,
real quick?
You would not be rapping anything.
on the pod whatsoever. Hell, yo, you're hating. When my music career goes off, this track to you first. Directed by Stalin.
No.
That nigga Pat, he a rat. Hit him with my gal on this mat. Yeah, but no, back to cancel culture. I feel that way because let's say there's this comedian that was supposedly canceled. The bald guy with the nasty bald guy with the beard that was canceled for sexual assault, whatever. It wasn't sexual assault, but again, apparently he masturbates like on the phone.
Oh, Louis C.K.
Look how you remember that
yeah.
quick. Louis C.K. Louis C.K. is right back to comedy, making money and doing shows, and people are going. That's what I mean by you can't cancel a person because in a matter of time, you're going to forget it. Unless you're really, enthusiastic and following up on this strongly. But that could just be one person. And the moment
But don't
that's
you
outrage,
think that that might have to do with people's like the principles that they're rooted in? If you say like I'm completely against this and then all right, I give it just a month and then I'm right back to it, like, do you really stand on whatever you said you're
But
about?
that's essentially what cancel culture is, though. Because I did a bunch of research this week, actually. I read a Tyler the Creator article, and I found a doctor I sent you. Doctor whatever his name was. Why am I blanking out on the name? But essentially, they came for Tyler as well in the early stages of his career.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
not early, but he used to say a lot of crazy
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and they were like,
No, I
"You're
remember this song.
homophobic. You're this, you're that," and he's just like, "I don't give a damn. F you guys, whatever." And to this day, Tyler is one of the most profitable artists of this day,
But you know what? For him,
this current generation.
I think for him that it's because you don't actually see him out in reality doing
But who
what
do you
he's saying
see
in his
out in
music.
reality? Oh,
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
sometimes that's the difference too. If I was
Yeah.
actually outside doing that shit,
oh yeah, for sure. If you are outside sexually assaulting people, you gotta go. Like the authorities have to get involved, and that's not even cancel culture. That's just the law. You know, I feel like if Cosby came out right now, he's canceled because he actually took action on a lot of the incidents that took place. He actually, raped people, and that's a huge offense, and that's something that's not to be taken lightly at all. But cancel culture becomes a problem where that old tweet nonsense gets me so pissed. Like, why are you combing through my old tweets and then coming up to me and telling me to apologize for something I said years ago when the climate was totally different and the room was different and people's, perception of my sort of art or my sort of platform was different. I'm not gonna apologize for it, and I don't care if you cancel me. I'm good.
But yeah, I still feel that. Again, this is why I like this topic, because I believe it's kind of like that double-edged sword where
it is.
You can say that because it's you, but if someone was just going on, whatever, like we're all people of color. Like let's just say, I don't know, one of the executives let's just say we were all working for one company. One of the executives was talking crazy, like about people of color. Maybe let's just say 3 years ago.
3 years ago is not long ago. Nigga,
Okay,
that's like
let's say
the advent of
7.
like Black Lives Matter. Okay, 7 years ago.
But just like real crazy, like flagrant shit. Would you be okay with it?
What has been your experience with that said CEO? Is he or she?
I don't know. I'm strictly like, let's just go on the basis of how it is in reality.
To me,
sometimes it's just this celebrity said something this amount of years ago and we find it now.
I'll look at the current state of the celebrities' action and what they're standing for and how they've been behaving in the years post that, and then judge them based on that, because I feel like everyone deserves some form of redemption, especially if it's just tweets, but like, I feel like you just going out of your way to look through someone's old tweets to bring it up and have a conversation about it in the present climate is not helping anything. How about we look at the person's behavior in the present? And if it reflects those same values that person held from back then yes, get them the hell out of here. But if, because people change over time, even in a matter of months, people would actually there are a lot of people that have changed their stances and based on whatever reason.
I'll tell you this. I feel that you can make changes, but I don't feel that people change who they are at
So you still think Kevin Hart is homophobic?
No, I don't.
Wait, but here's the thing.
I don't feel that he's homophobic. I feel that what I'm saying is this. I feel like if you're genuinely like a good person at the core, you're probably always going to be that. Sorry, Stalin, go ahead.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's like, just because like you will never really know that person's beliefs because you can mask it. And that's the problem with a lot of things. It's like, they might have said it years ago, but they might have been saying that because they weren't out in the public eye. And the problem is that when you become a celebrity or someone that's well known, it's like, you should know that you're going to be under the scrutiny of like everyone's.
I guess that's one thing you give up when you actually become a public.
Yeah. And like, you got to understand that. And it's like, I guess I understand cancel culture, because for them, it's like, they said these problematic things, but it's to say, did they, just because they're like showing a certain like person in the public eye doesn't mean it's who they are in private. So it's like you'll never know what their true beliefs are. Yeah. They just got better at hiding it because they're public.
Then that poses me to ask this question: what does it actually accomplish? If it's just outrage in a few moments, and then a few months after that, it's forgotten. Kevin is good. A lot of the people that have been canceled are good now because it doesn't really affect them that much.
Well, I mean,
they'll lay low in the moment, and then
a
few months after that, they're set.
For some people, I think he's in a weird place where he's grown, like his brand has grown so large where
you can't cancel him.
He would have to do something pretty extreme. No, you still can, but he would have to do something pretty extreme to do that. But this can bleed into the next question about
Stalin didn't give his take on that first question he asked.
What's up? What are we talking? Nah.
What's this? What's a pod? Oh, damn. I didn't even know that.
Nah, man. For cancel culture, I feel like for me, it's like really weird because it's like I'm not someone that like, I kind of like social media. Like I feel like I used to be very, very into it before. Mm-hmm. Like I used to be like posting a lot, very narcissistic. But after a while, I just stepped back and I just use it literally to like just promote work. But yeah, seeing like cancel culture is very, very strange because it moves very quickly.
Yeah.
It's like today we're going to focus on this person and cancel them. Okay, on to the next one, you know? And I get it. I guess like people are very like, you know, I'm not going to like, I don't like bad mouthing everyone, you know, but I do like to see like this is coming from like my own observations and like my own perspectives.
I want to make my own decisions based on
and I might be like wrong, but from like what I've noticed from the public, I feel like people are just like they're very outraged at everything that's happening, and they need to find like someone to let it out, you know. And sometimes they get in the past, it's like, what's gonna bring that out, you know? And I feel like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like if you knew you were gonna be like someone, you wanted to be in the public eye later on, like you should be very wary of what you put online.
Yeah.
Even like me, like I was like looking back to my stuff, and it's like, you know, it also depends like the age, because it's like when I was like a teenager, it's like I might have said some crazy shit, but it's like I was a kid.
But that's what teenagers do. Like you learn through that.
But I also think it also depends on the kind of content and like the things you said and the context of the situation, you know. Because if you're like I feel like if you're like way older and you're saying these kind of things, it's like you had enough time to know like what's wrong and like kind of like learn yourself. And I do believe that people do change, but it's like, I also do believe that people are very good at masking their true beliefs and intentions, especially in the public eye, because you have to, you know, you have to keep both apart. Like most of the time, like celebrities are playing a character in person, you know, because they want like deals or like sponsorships.
No, celebrities I don't trust either. I've only met like one celebrity that was like actually genuine. Actually, I'll say two that were actually genuine out of the bunch that I've met. Most of them, they're just putting up a front, and you can tell.
I've met a couple, but I feel that it does have a place when it's very much warranted. So when you talk about someone that's raped someone, like, yes, you should get them the hell out of here. Like, it shouldn't really be a debate on, you know, this or that. Like, so for instance, we could talk about R. Kelly, right?
Oh, I don't want to mention his name. Get that nasty dude out of here. No,
hold on now. Hold on.
I'm getting tight.
Hold on. But, you know I grew up listening to the music.
I didn't really listen to R. Kelly that much, so it didn't really affect me.
And I've made a conscious decision to not, and I'm cool. Like, I'll be fine without it, you know? But trust me, like, being a black man, an African-American, you know, some of them songs, that's like strictly like family reunion music, family gathering music. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? There's so much more music out there. But I feel like the cancellation of him is very much warranted. Like, it's just getting him out of here. Like, whatever. Oh, yeah. If someone somewhere still wants to listen to it, whatever. Like, I'm not going to sit there and hunt you down because he made some really great music. But am I going to do it? No. I don't think anyone like that should be celebrated in my, in my perspective. So I feel like there's a place in society for it when it's very much blatantly clear. And then I believe that when we start to filter through it, because just from what I was seeing, like there's different like kind of layers to the whole thing. So you have, that's kind of like your most extreme, right? Then you kind of have what we've been seeing right now over the past few months, where it might be something a little less, where it's okay, Home Depot use prison labor or this and that. Now you have to go into your personal beliefs, your personal values, and how much does that matter to you? To me, that matters a lot. But to somebody else, it might not matter to them all that much. Or they might say, oh, whatever, I've been shopping here for years. It is what it is. So, you know what I mean? Or it could be, I pulled up this tweet of this person, or an action from a company. Stalin, I actually want to ask you about, what was the company your friend worked for? Is it Colossal?
Oh yeah, Colossal Media.
So again, something like that, like you could probably, let's just say a couple of years down the road, right? Maybe a younger cousin or whoever was like, yeah, I got an intern with Colossal Media. What would you would probably be like, yo, you know what I mean? But
come to Stalin Media.
No,
yeah,
I'm saying,
Stalin, what's your company called, by the way? I'm sorry.
We don't have a name yet because we don't have an LLC yet. Right now, I'm just an independent contractor.
No name LLC, got it.
Yeah, but
what?
You know,
no.
Took him a second. It's like, nigga, shut up.
No, but I mean, I feel that aligns with your value system. So, as an individual, you would say, hey, you probably shouldn't do this because of X, Y, and Z, whereas someone else might have a different perspective, you know? So sometimes it's like this little gray area, but I would align with Stalin's thoughts on that if that's what he was still thinking, because I felt that was really messed up.
Yeah.
So
I know, I totally agree. But see, with the advent of this new, it's not new, but the reinvention of what Black Lives Matter means and what that actually like encapsulates, and all these other things that have become a part of it, all these other minor protests that have become a part of this whole global movement. I think currently cancel culture, or currently, I just call it boycotting because it's not canceling. It's based on the current actions of these companies. Like I was drinking Starbucks just like a month ago. Was it? No, just prior to quarantine. Like I had an account with them.
Before you go further,
until they came out and they did that nonsense, and I was like, okay, it's clear to me. Well, 2020, they're still doing this nonsense, so cutting them off.
Let me ask you this. So I think this would be a good time for the next part. What do you think, if any, what do you think the pros are to
cancel culture?
Yeah, any pros to it? Any benefit?
Again, it depends on the type of cancellation we're doing here. If it's action based on the actual actions of these people, companies, and celebrities, or movements, if it's based on the current actions of it, and everything is clear, like you can see exactly how terrible these people are being, then I'm here for it. Boycott the hell out of them. Take money away from them.
Let me say one big pro to me. I feel that it brings awareness. So let's just say, all right, I just spoke about Home Depot. I know they were like on that list for the prison labor. Cool.
Where would the dads go now?
Lowe's. So, all right, that's brought up, right? But now that might make me want to go research prison labor more. So now I can go and do research for myself. So just like I spoke about earlier, like that can kind of spark the fire to, inspire me to go do further research on a particular topic where I can figure out maybe how I could help to make change, instead of just, okay, I'm going to not buy Home Depot for 2 weeks, because that's not going to do anything. They're not going to,
2 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to, I mean, really, like, let's be honest. Like, that's how some people are. They can't stick to anything. So I feel like
I've already seen a lot of people going back to Starbucks. And I'm
yeah.
Like, wait, hold on. weren't you just posting about this just a week ago?
Exactly.
Now you posting them all up on your story.
It's funny.
You had to give up my birthday freaking drink. I really wanted that drink, but F them.
It's funny because Eve was talking about how people were posting about Goya but still wearing Yeezys. And it's like,
oh my God. I had a dream today that I was wearing my Yeezys and I haven't worn it in like months. I was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? I'm going to toss them out. I think that's what it means. I need to toss them out.
Oh, yeah. Styling. Yeah. Any pros to cancel culture, in your opinion?
I agree with your statement that it brings awareness. And I feel like it just kind of shows like that we as a public and society are not going to be accepting of certain behavior. And I feel like it just makes people like more aware and like want to like investigate more like people and like companies. But I don't know, it's really weird. It also depends. Like I feel like my biggest problem is like the people that kind of like are in control of cancel culture want to cancel someone, because I feel like it's not open for discussion.
It's not. It's just kind of like a thing. Just throw it out there, like, cancel them, and that's it.
We're gonna cancel you, and that's it. Like I don't want to hear your explanation. And I guess it also depends like on past action and stuff, because it's like, yo, if, like you've been accused of like you know, sexual assault or like rape, it's like, yo, like you gotta go. Like that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Because like,
but sometimes those allegations end up being wrong too.
Yeah, but I feel like I honestly believe we should always believe the victim first before we believe the other person.
That could actually lead us to another conversation, because recently there were allegations against Justin Bieber that were proven to be completely false, and the victims just go away scot-free, but it tarnishes this said person's image.
I don't think his image is tarnished, bro.
I don't think it doesn't, because even if you get accused, we should always believe the victim, and if it doesn't turn out to be true, then the truth is gonna come out, you know.
But wait, so what is the victim supposed to be canceled at this point because they lied? So that's just it. Anyone can just get up and kind of lie about this, and yeah.
Look, I'll say this. I believe the same thing with this whole, what is it? What's the law? Not the Karen law, whatever it is, but
it's Karen law.
Was it Karen?
In San Francisco, it's called like Karen.
That's effed up. Imagine being named Karen in this climate. Yo, Patrick.
My bad. I think that for what y'all were talking about just now, I believe that there should be something else on the flip side. Stalin, I 100% agree with you. When that situation arises, you need to go with, err on the side of belief for the victim.
I mean, that's natural.
However, if they were just completely making something up, just blatantly lying, I do believe that there needs to be some sort of, consequence for that person legally. Yeah. It shouldn't just be I walk away when I just made this up. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. So,
actually, one positive of cancel culture, like you said, I agree with you as well, Patrick. It brings, it sheds light to a lot of issues and leads to further research on very important movements and important things about society that we need to know. Another thing is that it allows for, I hate this word and I'm gonna have to use it. It allows for the minority to be part of the conversation as well. Because we don't usually get those voices. Like before Black Lives Matter, if someone was pissed at a company for doing a lot of like shady stuff, they could air their grievances, but it wouldn't be as like huge as it was now. Like when the whole complex thing came out, they were on I don't want to say ride the wave, but Black Lives Matter made those issues come to the forefront, and it allowed for their voices to be heard on a massive platform. Same with a lot of other subtle, mini racist things that were going on in a lot of companies. Vogue came out, the whole Condé Nast team, fashion. So I like that, it's given the voice to the minority, or the voice to the oppressed in a way, and it allows for them to come out and like actually advocate for what they want, because let them say, no, we want this. We don't want you to just hire a diversity what do they call it? Companies hire like one black person and call it a day. They usually
they'll put them in some sort of diversity
manager
HR,
or something. Yeah, diversity thing, and you're just in charge of hiring all the blacks. That just sounds weird, by the way. Like,
well, not all, like
most companies,
small
like
percentage.
Dude, have you seen Nike's freaking like headquarters, or like, like as soon as you start to rise up in the hierarchy of like companies, or the structure of it, it just becomes wider as you go up, and there's just one black guy usually at the table. And I think, not cancel culture, but the advent of social media activism has brought that to the forefront.
Yeah, but I feel like
so that's one advantage.
But I feel like the issue with that, it just leads to performative activism, and it doesn't really change to anything. I honestly believe that cancel culture just like, I feel like it's just a way for people to let out their outrage and emotions, but it doesn't really lead to any change. It just leads to more people. It's like, oh, okay, I have to be more aware of my behavior. And even if I believe in like kind of like controversial statements, or beliefs, then I just have to mask it now. I have to mask it even further. And I feel like, especially with like companies, because a lot of things that I've noticed with people in cancel culture, it's like they'll cancel a company, right? But it's like, if you're canceling this company, then you would have to cancel this other company as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you want to like cancel a company due to prison labor, we should be canceling Apple. We should be canceling Amazon. We should be canceling.
You can't just selectively choose.
We should be canceling like a lot of different companies. And I feel like the issue here, it's like, it's very selective, and it's like, I don't know. It's just really strange. It's like from one day to the next, someone else will be canceled, because I feel like it's that emotion that people go after. It's that rush. It's like,
it's an emotional response.
It's like, I finally have some sort of power over these people that have more power over me, and I just want to implement it and use it, And I feel like that's where like the problem is, because it's like, are you really caring about the issue at hand and like their like messed up beliefs or controversial beliefs, or are you just in it because you want to have some sort of like, or you have some sort of like power complex and you want to like implement it? You feel me? And that's like what I feel like I've seen a lot of people do. It's like, nope, canceled. It's like, because I have this power, I want to use it. And like,
especially on Twitter, people actually just use it to get clout. It's so weird. Like, they'll bring up an allegation towards a company or a person, they'll detail it out, but in the first comment after that, go follow my IG, follow my Snapchat, check out mine. I'm like, wait, excuse me? Hold on. Like, what are you doing this for? And there's some form of emotional high that comes with it. I agree with you, Stalin, on that, where like you feel like you have power, you feel like you want to exercise it, But that's just one of the disadvantages of it as well. Again, it's a double-edged sword, like Patrick said earlier during this.
I want to make a touch on what Stalin was saying. I do, and what you were agreeing with, that it is that emotional response, but I think it's up to us to, be responsible and seek more information. So just as you said, Stalin, like, we can't just pick and choose. If you say these are my values, then you should be canceling this company, that company. And the list it's probably endless almost. So what can you do to try to make change? How about, instead of just saying, hey, we're not going to shop here, maybe we can push for different legislation to, try to get prisons to not be privatized. You know what I'm saying? I know that's been an ongoing fight, but guess what? Now we're like, not a few have, and, maybe put a focus on that. So that's the thing. Like, when people go out and say, hey, we'll do this and do that, again, some things will change, but I definitely agree with the point that it's a lot of just like show and tell type shit. Like, oh yeah, we painted on the street for y'all. We did this, we did that. And cool, whatever. Like,
Trump Tower, and I was like, what the hell is this doing? NYPD still got their budget. What the hell, man?
Exactly. So we look at the who is it? The DA for Louisville. He's a black dude, right? So people before that info came out, people were probably wondering like, who is this person? So just because a person of color is there doesn't mean that, hey, stuff is gonna get done. So do you want to cancel that individual too? You know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, well, we should give him a chance. No, like, hold on, because if the skin was different, we wouldn't be as quick to give him a chance. And then we could flip it to someone who might be racist or whatever, and they see a black dude in charge and something they want to get done isn't getting done. So I don't know. I feel that that's still like, to me, that's the only pro that comes from it, is building awareness. But then you have to be responsible as an adult to go and do further research to, come to some sort of conclusion for yourself to see, like, is this, maybe like you said, Hassan, like, it's an allegation, nothing's been proven yet, this, that, and third. Because I know for me, like, if something was alleged for me doing something, I would want the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't want people to just be like, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know. But I guess this will just go right into it. And I'm sure you'll probably pick up on it, but we can talk about some more, the cons to cancel culture.
That's a ton, bro. First of all, in the actual moment of reading something that, or reading an allegation, it's usually not a well thought out response people have. Is usually more emotional. It's more of an emotional high, like, yeah, let's get him, and then they're all like tag team and cancel the said person. But in that actual moment, what I want to ask is that, how exactly are they canceling that person? Because I see this on Twitter a lot. Like, oh, this person is canceled, that person is canceled. Meanwhile, that person is home just chilling, watching TV or like sipping juice. Well, what are you actually doing?
Well, you got to understand that it's a boycott. So if enough people are made aware of these
boycotting though? Okay, Stalin, let's say I was
wait, but let me finish my point though. I got you. Okay, completely. But it's like, let's say you're an actor, right? And you're very famous in the public screen. And let's say you've said some messed up remarks. The only reason why you're getting a lot of work and you're sponsored and you're like the face of like companies is because you have publicity. You have a lot of people that are following you, right? They want to listen to you and are gonna like believe your word. If you get canceled, it means like a lot of these people and your following is gonna deteriorate. It's gonna go low, and that brings bad image to you. And if you have bad image to yourself, then no one's gonna want to associate with you. Because if a company, what's that gonna say about the company? Is the company aligning with your fucked up values? Most people are gonna say yes, so they're not gonna like go with that company. So you literally, and then like other people are not going to want to give them jobs because it's like, it's a bad rep. It's no longer that good image, So you're literally like cutting off like their whole career. Like you're pretty much destroying it because that thing is going to be associated with you forever. So whenever they look up your name,
I don't think forever, but
I mean, sometimes, but I feel like depending like who you are and how much influence, like literally like on the internet, it's going to stay there. Whenever they look up your name now, that thing is associated with you,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it's like that. It's just about like cutting like their revenue funnel.
Yeah, I guess if you're just financially independent, or if you've reached a point in your life where you don't give a damn anymore, it literally wouldn't affect you. Because there's a lot of independent people that are supposedly being canceled, and they're just like, well, cool, I'll just go about my business. I own everything anyways, and they're still fine. Which is what I'm saying. Yeah, I get if you want to cancel a celebrity and have it affect the public image. But usually, even with that, after a couple of months, they're just back to doing what they're doing. That's why that's one of the cons on cancel culture that really just gets me. I'm like, okay, so you guys have all agreed that we want to cancel the said person. 4 or 5 months later, this person is in a big budget movie. And at that point, what are you going to do? Not go watch a movie? Okay, but that person has already gotten their money. And it just becomes obsolete at that point. If cancel culture was a lot more focused on actually being like more of an economic boycott and being to follow and stick with it, I think it'll be much more effective and people will take it a bit more serious. I feel like they've done it so much to the point that they even do it to wrong people sometimes, and they come out and they find out that, okay, we've canceled the wrong person, and it's been oversaturated to the point that it's kind of lost its value if it had any to start with. That's how I'm seeing it. Like,
yeah, but I feel
every
like
5 seconds, something new is being canceled, and at some point it becomes overbearing, and you just wanna, like, yo, like, let me chill. Leave me
yeah,
alone.
but what you're talking about, I feel like it's like depends on logical reasoning, and I don't think cancel
And I'm
culture is
coming from
about
a point of
logical
logic.
reasoning.
Wait,
Yeah,
if
it's
it's
more of
not
like
from logical reasoning, then
it's from an emotional perspective that most of the cancel culture is coming.
clearly most of your thoughts have to be based on some form of logic.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, Hassan, that like people are not logical people. They're
So
emotional
in that
people.
way, you're kind of not propagating. What is this thing you don't? Where like someone you're projecting your values onto everyone else, but what if they all feel different about your emotions at the current moment? Let's say you really value. Let's say you like McDonald's, right? And you find out that which they actually do. McDonald's have been contributing to food deserts in our neighborhood, and have contributed to a lot of diseases that have plagued usually the hood or Black African American communities, and our diet is bad, and like there's a lot of overweight people that leads to heart diseases, diabetes, and all that. And this is public information. Everybody knows that, right? But you love McDonald's, so you didn't care to like cancel them, right? But then let's say you going out there to try to cancel Burger King. I don't eat junk food. You feel me? So obviously I'm already like canceling them in a sense because they don't get any of my money. But you be mad about it wouldn't affect me because you're pushing your values onto me, and it's based on your emotional response because you hate one thing but you like the other.
Yeah, but I don't think the thing is about you. It's about how it affects the business. Because cancel culture doesn't care about the people that don't agree with them. You know. And
Oh
that's
yeah,
what
no, obviously, but I'm putting you in like this is obviously made up story. But I'm putting you in the seat of the person that's like breaking this news or pushing for this company to be canceled. In the moment, you're mad about it, right?
yeah, but
Just the
that
same way that I'm pissed about like this coffee company. There's a lot of people that don't give a damn.
yeah, and that's to be fair, like that's how the world is, and that's fine. And honestly, I can't put myself in that perspective of the person that's canceling because I do try to understand them from their perspective. So it's whenever I'm hearing these and seeing these allegations, it's like, okay, if I were to read this, how would I feel? And it's like, okay, I'd feel angered, I'd feel pissed off, and it's like that's what's gonna fuel it. It's gonna make me do this.
Okay, now if
But most
you
of the time,
cancel
it's
this,
like it's not gonna be like logical reasoning. I just want to like stop, like cancel this company, and it's gonna like that emotional response is gonna what's gonna be shooting it because it's like almost like a high. And I'm
yeah,
not gonna
but
be up for like logical discord. I mean, some people are because some people
yeah,
are very emotional, intelligent, and are logical. I can't categorize everyone in cancel culture as being like
no, for
only
sure.
like fully emotional, but yeah, I feel like it's not like even if some other people come into it, it's like it never leads to like a constructive like conversation. It just leads to like very very like bad attacks between each other, which is like back and forth.
I
And that's
mean,
exactly why it loses its value to a lot of people because I feel like most of the people that want to engage in this sort of boycotting thing would also want to think on a logical sense of like from a logical point of view. And Patrick, you're saying
um, I as far as it being emotional response, I just believe that you know, especially right now, like I guess people can kind of weaponize it in a way or use it for their own benefit to say, hey, let me see how many people I can get to go against this company, this person. So when we're talking about it from that perspective, like, yes, people are going to it's strictly going to be a wave of emotions, a wave of anger, a wave of outrage. And they won't be using that, that logical thinking. So I think that yes, emotion might trigger you, but I still think some people can look through things through the lens of like, okay, let me like for me, a lot of things I just know like my value system. So it's just like the logical, the best way for me to handle something would to be like, hey, like, all right, I'm not going to use this anymore because that's what I believe in, and I'd rather invest my money elsewhere. It doesn't have to be, hey, fuck them, this, that, and the third. I might make some jokes about it, unless something is just truly like disgusting to me. But that's what I want to say about what y'all were talking about.
Yeah, and not to take away from cancel culture, because it's led to a lot of, I don't want to attribute it to cancel culture all the time, but just activism has led to a lot of good, especially in the past few months. We've seen a lot of changes, and I'm not talking about the face value one. We've seen a lot of companies actually start to listen instead of just take action. I don't know if it's reflective.
But here's the thing: are they really listening, or are they just protecting their pockets?
No. You could tell. Again, you could also tell when it's genuine. I feel like if you're a very emotionally and logically intelligent person, you could know when the company is just reaching out to save their pockets. And even if they are reaching out to save their pockets, that's an opportunity for you. It's given you an opportunity to have the platform.
I'll say this about the companies, and I think it will be somewhere in the middle of what both of y'all are saying. Some of these companies will make some really good changes just based on the fact that hopefully the world is changing for the better, and they see that old practices will not move them forward anymore, which will bring more opportunities for people of color. Will it be genuine? No.
But did opportunities come?
So again, that would be up to you to figure out, okay, do I want to work there, knowing that action was not from the heart, it was from the pocket. But then again, would you ever really know for sure? Probably not, because if you're working for a huge corporation, how would you actually know? Unless you sit down with whomever is running that, whoever has a say.
Exactly, that's why those opportunities are important, because it leads you to have a platform, and usually it has an upskill kind of thing. It's like you go from this position to the next, because they know that, like, hey, this is important. We need to have people like that on the table, on the decision-making table, not just the worker, mentality form of place. I was going to say something. I think I blanked out on it.
I want to say this. I think another con, and just from doing the reading, and it's true, like, especially for more of like individuals, if it's something that they've said, I do believe that it does take away from someone's ability to grow and to learn.
Exactly.
So maybe they grow and learn that, hey, I'm still this person no matter what. Okay, cool. Now that you gave me that information,
peace. I know what to do.
But if they want to be able to grow, if they want to be able to learn, then they should have that ability to do so. And the thing is, like, what is the degree that you're canceling somebody on? Is it because they called you a name? Is it because they, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? What is it? What is the severity of this thing? Because some people are like, oh, we're canceling them because they spat on the ground in front of my house. I'm like, I mean, yeah, like, that's a little, like, why you got to do that? But you can just turn the hose on and, wash it away.
Just disintegrate. So, the sun will dry it out. Like,
yeah, like, people need that opportunity to grow and to learn. If you're just canceling everybody, everything for anything that you don't,
would have canceled the grocery dude down the block.
Yeah, we if that's the case, pretty much everybody should just be silenced, canceled, whatever. Hey, I know for me, like, definitely for sure, like, some stuff that I've said in life, that, yeah, for sure.
That's the title of this podcast. Patrick is canceled.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Oh, damn. Like,
my screen go blank.
Send your mic over. I know you bought it, but like, so send it over. Just package it and send it over.
Would it say your mic over too?
Patrick, welcome back to Patrick has been welcome back to the TNT pod. What were we saying again?
Nah, but I mean, I just think that we have to give people the ability to grow, because that's what I've seen a lot. And from doing reading on different, different situations, people will get canceled, but we all want the ability to grow. Stalin, I know you and I have both read the book. You Need to Serve, Mr. Not So Light Skin. But
do that intro today. See?
It's all right. But everybody wants to be understood.
What's the book? So, I was gonna write it down, and you just
the 7 Habits of Highly
Effective People.
You know what? How about you guys send a list to the group chat? Because I finished my other book. And
I got you.
Purchase a bunch of books. Just send the list, and I'll purchase all of them.
I got you.
I'm balling.
But everybody wants that. We all seek that. So if Hassan, like if you would, I don't know, if some, I don't know, let's just say you went on a date and the girl said, we were sitting there eating, and then he said he went to the bathroom. He didn't come back. He ran up a $300 tab.
She catfished me.
No. You get there, everything is cool, but you run up like a $300 tab. Like you just talking, and then you dip, and then she's like, "Cancel him. He's not a gentleman." But
you think I give a damn?
No. But I'm just saying, like, let's just say you didn't do that. Let's just say in actuality, you went to the bathroom. You were just in there dropping a huge, you know what I'm saying? But let's just say she got impatient and she thought somehow you left, and she was like, you know what, I'll just pay. Clearly he just left. So again, if that came up and everybody was like, you know, every time, let's just say she knew a lot of women, or let's just say this, she's an influencer that a lot of women follow, and she made this post about you, but you knew it wasn't true, you would probably be fighting tooth and nail, say, yo, like,
I'm bringing the video evidence of me coming out the bathroom. So
okay, now let's say this too. Let's just say, all right, you guys went out to eat, but you forgot your means to pay for the meal.
Apple Pay.
But she took it as you were just trying to dump it all on her plate.
I'll just pay her after that. I'll just send her the money after.
Whatever.
I'm
hypothetical
sorry.
situation.
I'm just like a
of course. Yeah. Or hell, you know, fuck all that. Let's just say you were just like, you know what? We've been out on 5 dates. She should just pay for this one.
Oh hell yeah! Don't even.
No. But I'm just saying, like,
I'm gonna let you finish.
Now let's just say you approached her in that manner, like what you just did. Keep that same energy. Let's just say you like, yeah, no, you should pay for this because I paid for the last 5. So that's gonna be on you.
But I'll just like say, yo.
Now, let's just say, okay, she's an influencer, this, that, and the third. We already went through the whole scenario. Do you think you deserve to be canceled forever from any female that you might like, or do you think you should have the ability to grow and learn from your mistakes? Stalin, what do you think? Canceled or not canceled? You on the clock?
Hassan is canceled.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's like
it's subjective, right?
Yeah, because it's like you gotta like, why is she canceling you if you didn't pay that? I mean, like,
because she is
after 5 dates too. You paid for 4. Damn.
Yeah.
That's OD.
But I think in that moment she wouldn't even mention that I paid for the past 4. She was just gonna mention that one day.
Oh yeah.
It's based on an emotional response, you know. And again, usually if it'll affect me to the point of affecting my business, I'll say something about it. But if it's just my dating life, honestly, I wouldn't even look at it. I'll just be like, yo, move. Like,
well, no, I'm just saying, like,
if he hit me, I'll give them the receipts.
But I'm saying that could deter, like, maybe that's the girl that you really, really like. You like.
If she's acting like that.
No, not her. I'm saying a different woman of your interests. Let's just say this other woman, like, you really like her. You like, man, like, I could, you know, this is
just something that I can see.
Yeah. And then she's a little weary because she doesn't know, all because of that.
Oh, I mean, if she...
I'm of the belief that no, you shouldn't be. I feel that. And again, there's different levels to each one. There's different degrees of who will be canceled for what and what you should or should not. Should it be a complete cancellation? Should it be a boycott? I feel that in that scenario, you should...
gonna boycott Charlie?
you should have the right to grow, the right to learn from it. So maybe instead of, hey, you know what? Instead of doing that right there, maybe prior to the date, you could, you know, bring that conversation up and say, hey, you know, we've been going on a dates, like, how about we split it, or you mind picking this one up or whatever.
That could be like
an honest conversation.
Stalin introduced me to Going Dutch. Like again, for me, when I go on a date, if it's a huge one, I'm kind of expecting that you want to pay, even if I'm gonna cover it. Just act like you're gonna pay. I want to see that. It's one of the values I value very clearly. I'm not gonna take care of a grown ass woman. Like I'm not here to take care of you. We're here to just two grown adults having a conversation over food, and like you again, there's this societal aspect of like just men need to pay for dates and blah blah blah. I don't ascribe to that. Just
well, again,
and
that's and see that's what I was talking about earlier. Like you have to see where your values are, what your belief system is, so on and so forth. For me, I think like one of the very first dates I went on, it was somewhere in high school, and like
brought out the coins.
Nah.
Little quarters.
The girl was taking me out. We went out to eat at this what the hell is that shit called? It was this burger place, Red Robin. I think that's what Robin. But she paid, and I remember my father was like, "Oh, how'd it go?" Da da da. I was like, "Cool," and then something happened. I think we went somewhere, and I pulled out more money. He's like, "Oh, did you eat or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "No." He's like, if you're asking her out, you gotta do that. You have to pay. Now, I do agree that.
She asked me out.
Listen. I do agree that sometimes you don't want to be in a scenario with someone where they just sit back like, "Oh yeah, he got that. He got that."
No,
yeah,
if you honestly, so, that's when I actually ask for you to bring out your card too. Right? Because sometimes I'll pay, but like just act like you're gonna do something. It's just a gesture of it. Like, yeah, okay. I'm like, all right, I get it. Like she feels as but you're just sitting there waiting for me to put. I'm gonna sit there and stare right back at you.
Oh, you know what? I wanna
do. What we about to do? Like, what's good?
I want to bring up another. Do y'all know what happened with Nick Cannon?
Yes. Oh,
that's you away?
Stuff. Nope.
So basically, he was on his podcast. Nick Cannon was previously with Viacom for a while and out. I think that was it, and the podcast probably too. So on the podcast, he said some anti-Semitic things, I believe.
Considered to be anti.
Basically, he was saying that how black folks were the original Hebrews, even though I feel like that's a popular belief amongst a lot of people.
Kendrick said that too in his album. Was like, my nigga, like, I like you, just enough of this BS.
But I don't know if I mean, maybe it is, and I don't want to offend anybody, so I'm just saying I'm just giving you a recap of what he said. And then he went on to say that like the original white folks lack the pigmentation, that's why they fear us, so on and so forth. Which I don't know how that was taken as anti-Semitic, but I think it was just the black folks, the original Hebrews. So basically, Viacom said he didn't reach out to apologize. He said he did. And then he showed proof that he apologized twice. They released him. And it was funny because Ian and I were having a conversation like, oh, like, what about Revolt? And then I guess Diddy sent something out like, yo, come over to Revolt, this, then, and the third.
Boom.
But some other places are keeping him. So, I mean, what do you guys think about it? And I'll give my thoughts on it.
Again, it depends on the economic power that like this guy has. You know, I read somewhere. Oh my God, do you guys still hear the dings? I can't mute it on my computer because then it'll mute the pod.
Just sign out.
I don't know how to do that. Anyways, I'm gonna mute this conversation. My apologies for that. But I read that he doesn't own. He actually put out a statement, and I read it, and it was because he owned the rights to Wild 'N Out because he created the show and everything. Keyword here is owned, and somewhere somehow, due to negotiations, Viacom got the rights to the show, so they got rid of him, but they have Wild 'N Out. So even if he's to go to Revolt, he has to come up with his own show. It could be Happy and Out or something like. right, calming out. But the fact that ownership was taken away from them led Viacom to say, we don't need you, we'll put someone else there. But the whole conception of the show and the whole this show that makes them a lot of money was created by Nick Cannon, and that goes back to ownership and giving away of not just intellectual property, but Wild 'N Out is a huge. It's not even a franchise; it's a company in itself.
Well, what? And I'm gonna bring up one more scenario after that. So, what do y'all think? Do you think they made the right move? What do you think should or shouldn't have happened?
And they're probably gonna take it back because I don't see anybody taking the show. So to them, they're just doing it for face value because there's a lot of Viacom is known for, especially. I think there was some allegations towards them on the show Love and Hip Hop. Oh, no, the police show where an African American was shot, right? And they were doing that in conjunction with another company, and they had the records. And they didn't air it, but they kept it under the sheets until recently, where it was aired out and people actually knew about it. The episode wasn't aired on TV, but Viacom knew about that episode. The other company knew about that episode. They swept it under the rug, right? So this just goes to show where this company's values lies. So if something like Nick Cannon saying something that's, it's not as comparable to their offense, and I'm not comparing these two things, but if you have like this huge case that you knew about, you hit it, who are you to come here and say, well, what you're doing is wrong and you're done? Go back and look at your files and look at what you've done throughout the years and look how you're capitalizing on African-American intellect and shows. Let's say for what it is. Viacom, Lovin', they have all these shows that literally use African-Americans audience to make money. Wild 'N Out is a wide. If you look at the demographics of Wild 'N Out, I bet you a lot. It's black people love that show. I love that show.
Oh yeah,
exactly. And they're
it's been around
capitalizing
since what, like
yeah,
7?
yeah.
Stalin, what do you
died
think?
off and they brought it back. But again, I don't think it's right for them to judge him based on that when they have a lot that they're sitting on. But Stalin, go.
Yeah, I agree with your points, Hassan, but I feel like you're seeing it from like your point of view. If I put myself in the shoes of like executives and running a company, it's like I'm gonna take out all my emotional response to it, and I was like, all right, maybe this is right, maybe this is wrong. But from a business standpoint, it's like, how is this gonna affect our pockets? And it's like clearly based on like the data we're getting of how many people, of how Nick Cannon is trending, and how many people are saying to cancel him. It's only like logical for us to be like, all right, we got to cut this off because this is going to hurt our pockets, you know? And yeah, it might be wrong, but it's like, you can't just view it from like your own lens. You have to view it from like the other people's lens to like really understand the big picture, you know?
But you were talking about it from an economics perspective. This show brings them a lot of money, a lot of sponsorships, a lot of everything.
Yeah. And then that's why they
got rid of the guy that created it. Because I don't see anybody else actually taking over the show.
Yeah, but you don't know that. What if someone else comes in? Because they own the rights, and it's like even though he created the show, that's business. Like if you sell away the rights to something for a specific amount of money, that's it. Like you signed a legally binding contract for this, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like that's not really like Nick Cannon's fault. Like he agreed to that, you know. It's no,
that's his fault for agreeing to that for sure.
I mean, like maybe that was good for him, but I was like, should he be canceled for what he said? It's like I understand, like I guess I understand what he's saying that the black people were the original Hebrews. I don't think he meant
that's not a foreign concept at all.
I don't think he meant it in like a disrespectful way. I think he meant it in like if you look at where like the Hebrews like arose from, like around like the Middle East and stuff. It's like people are gonna have like they're gonna have like around there. It's like they're definitely gonna have like darker pigmentation just based on like where they're located.
Thing when people talk about
Jesus being white.
I mean, how I view it is, look, from everything that we've been through, I believe that if someone tells you that they're offended by something, you should, just as we spoke about earlier, like you should take that as like, oh, okay, didn't know that, let me correct that wrong. So I think that they should have given Nick Cannon the opportunity to right his wrong. And again, I just want to put this out here. I didn't, because they deleted the episode. I don't think you can watch
No,
it
they
any
didn't
longer.
air it out. They aired Fresh Prince instead. See, another black show.
Got you.
See what I mean by Viacom
yeah,
profiting off of black like intellect?
But you know, I only saw a clip, so I don't want to say. I'm just saying what I've seen from there, and I think that's the part that everybody was so focused on. I feel that he should have the ability to come out and correct it, and if he's indeed contrite in his apology and his actions after, then yeah. But also, what Stalin was saying from a business aspect, maybe Viacom's like, if we get rid of him, he only brings up, this much, we can cut him, it'll be all right. But I think that everyone should have the ability to grow and learn, unless it's just something very crazy. Like there's this damn, I guess a host for shows for ESPN, Will Kane. And I feel that he's continuously defended, I guess you would say, white supremacy for a while now. And he does it on a very, like, he doesn't come right out and say it, but he doesn't like ever disagree with it. So the whole thing that happened with NASCAR, Bubba Watson finding the noose in the shed, he was just kind of like, oh, well, da-da-da. Or banning the Confederate flag, where he's like, well, some people, they just feel like it's so, some of them don't even know what it means, and it's just their heritage and da-da-da. I'm like, what is the heritage, though? And then even before that, there was, I don't know if it's the national anthem, something like that, but I guess there was a song that they would sing before that was created that was extremely, extremely racist. And he was just saying, well, how could you ban that? And so someone like that, where it's like, bro, you keep doing this over and over again. And I don't know how much he brings in, but I would say from me viewing ESPN, I think they would be just fine without him. Like, I don't think.
For sure.
But again, like, yeah, exactly. But again, can you like pick and choose? Like, I don't know if you can have it both ways. I just think that people need the ability to grow, unless it's just something so flagrant, so disgusting that you don't want to attach yourself to it, because you're not going to be able to forget about that. But yeah.
I understand. I guess it depends. Again, I think they just made the decision purely or solely just based on the financial like retributions of Nick's actions. Hopefully, he finds a way to still capitalize off of this show he created, and he's or he could just take the cast with him and start a new show that people are probably going to support, which is kind of similar to Water Now. Who knows? But again, this is one aspect of cancel culture where now it's not just the people canceling, it's the actual powers that are doing the cancellations here, and that's another different side to it. He's just one person.
I don't think so. I think the people is what led to the cancellation, though. So like, I think at the end of the day, it's the people.
Who's taking the actual action, though?
Well, I mean, what are you saying?
Yeah,
though,
but,
is that
but who influenced that action?
Right.
If it wasn't for the people like trying to cancel him, the executives would have never done it.
Again, I think
well, no, because like,
the selective like activism here, because the majority of the people that were offended by this were like obviously Caucasians and like other people of that race, and see how quickly action was taken on that. But when, like, again, this is based from my perspective, obviously, but when African Americans, so people like us, are actually pissed at something and want something canceled, it's not swift. There's no swift actions taken in that moment.
But let me say this too. Nick Cannon was only let go from Viacom. So the other networks that he's plugged in with, he's still there. So again, someone was like, hey, he's apologized. We're going to give him this opportunity to grow, which I feel like is appropriate. because again, everybody wants that opportunity to grow from their mistakes and their transgressions. I just don't think you can just box people into one thing forever and just lock them away there, you know?
Yeah.
So there was also another incident. Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, posted it's a quote that's attributed to Adolf Hitler, but I guess it's not from him.
Get that nigga out of here.
So people were upset about it, but damn, how many years ago was it? I know y'all aren't like the biggest football fans, but there was a wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think Deshaun Jackson might have been on the team then. And he was at some country music concert. He was drunk, and then I guess he was like, "Yo, I'll beat every nigger's ass here," or something like that.
All right, and was he drunk?
I don't know, but whatever. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, well, hey, he was just drunk. He didn't mean it." Like, nah. When you sitting there going off like that, repeatedly saying that, like, I feel like there's something in you that means it. What do you think happened to him? Just take a guess. Both of y'all take a guess real quick.
He's still playing.
No, what do you think his punishment was? Just take a guess.
Oh, they gave him like the 2 weeks off or something like that, or like a fine, and just like get your ass back on the field.
Okay, Stalin.
I think he just got fined.
I believe he missed like some type of like 2 days of like camp, and then he got like a 5-year extension. So again, it's but now
that's all you gotta do, man. Damn.
Now listen.
Wrong, bro.
Listen though. So that's what happened to him. But with Deshaun Jackson, I believe he got fined. But Julian Edelman, he's one of the slot receivers for the Patriots. He's a Jewish man. He said, "Yo, like." He's like, what I want to do, he's like, I want to take you to DC. He's like, we'll go. I don't, and forgive me for not knowing, but there's a museum about Jewish culture, Jewish heritage there. I'm not sure the exact name. And then there's the Museum of African American History. So Julian Edelman said, yo, like, I'll take you here and then you take me there. And then we can like talk and discuss and like, because he wants to learn more about African American.
Wants to, or is face value? See, at that point, I don't know.
I don't know, but it's just like he's the only one that made like a public thing to like reach out as a player to say like, hey, like let's do this.
Did he take him up on it?
I don't know yet. I haven't been like super glued to it, but to me that says something because usually like these people will stay silent. Just for me, like watching and looking at the NFL. So it's just like, okay, like, did he have to say that? No. So hopefully that is a genuine connection that they'll make. Because again, I feel like if one person tells you they're offended, then you should act on it. Just as the owner for the Washington football team, I'll just say the name one time, but the team was the Washington Redskins. So they are changing the name, but back in 2013-14 he said, hey, I will never change this name. He said you can put it in all caps basically. So he still was the owner of the team, and the previous owner was a racist. This guy, I'm assuming,
it's a legacy they're doing over there.
Yeah, so he said, oh, well, I interviewed 500 Native Americans when there's population of like 3-5 million, something like that. And he made like a one-time donation of like $4 million to this tribe. And I'm from what's been told is that he interviewed,
which is a tax deductible.
Exactly. Well, what it's been told is that it was like a tribe with older folks. And, you know, sometimes older folks have been through a lot. At this point, they're just like, whatever, like, it's, you know, this is just the way things are. But it's like, they don't speak for everybody. If that little segment of 500 people says, oh, I'm not that offended, or I'm not offended, but yet everybody else is, then there's not that hard of a decision to make. if if you're at work with somebody of a different race, different culture, and you say something and they say, hey, I was offended by that, what are you gonna say? You're gonna say, oh, it's okay, I know Patrick, he's black, or
I'll buy you a
okay.
coffee.
No, you're not. What your reaction should be, what you should say to someone is, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry about that. I did not know. And I want you to know, like, I wouldn't do anything to, do anything purposely to offend you. Is there anything else that I might have been saying or doing, or can you tell me something that would be offensive so I don't do anything like this in the future? I don't get what's so hard about that. Yeah. So
now imagine you're going around canceling people in real life. You see how absurd that sounds?
Exactly. But again, so now this guy, the owner for the Washington football team, he FedEx said, yo, we're gonna take our name, we're not gonna be the sponsor for the stadium. Nike took all their merchandise off of their site. Amazon did the same thing. So everybody's just like pulling away from them. So clearly it's linked to the money, because someone's like, oh, and they said some shit like, we have to do an internal investigation on the name.
Yo,
like, for what? For what? For what?
It's can you tell me what that means?
It's very much in the it's very no. I'm saying for them, it's like there's nothing to investigate. Because again, I love Bomani Jones, and he's the one that came at Will Kane for his stupidity, and he had a shirt on, and I don't know if y'all saw it. I posted it, but it said Caucasians. It was like
I saw that.
Yeah. Like, so it's literally no. I'm just saying, like, if you're offended by the original name and this, then it makes sense. You can't say, oh, well, that's just the name, but why would you do this? Like, no, like, you can't say I'm offended by this and not offended by that. That's to say that right now in the current climate, if someone says that they are offended, and not offended by something stupid, but something that is like, if you did something racially insensitive or against someone's sexuality or whatever it might be, then yeah, like there should be something said about it,
Yeah, for sure.
Again, like, what are we gonna do? Like, how are we gonna hold people accountable? So I think, pardon me, one of the biggest cons to the cancel culture is, again, to your point, Stalin, a big like wave of emotion, and then where's the logic in it? Where's the follow through with it? So this guy has been the owner of this team, and it's not even like the team has been good. Like, they've been subpar at best. One playoff appearance, Super Bowl before any of us were even born. Like, so it's like, what is it? What are you really bringing to this league anyway? You're not doing anything, And again, to both of your points, if we weren't pushing for all this, I don't know if these companies would have been like, hey, I'm taking your merchandise off here. Hey, because they could have did that. Truth be told, But then again, Nike did just like recently, they were designing the jerseys for NFL. So I don't know what all they had on their site, because prior to this, it was like Adidas or Reebok, something like that. So I don't know how all of those things work. But yeah.
It just shows the different motives for cancel culture could be used for, different ways it could be used for, and you can even look at these companies taking their money out of there as a financial decision, because they don't want to have that form of residual anger affect their business as well. So Amazon taking their money out, FedEx taking their money out, Nike taking their money out is because they don't want to be associated with a form of like racist football team, or like a team with that form of leadership, and in a sense protecting their business, which is logical as well. But again, if you look at like Amazon's also internal affairs, if you look at Nike and like I don't know about FedEx, they also have a lot of things they have to be worried about.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a matter of picking and choosing. And at this point, you can't. I feel like you can just pick a few issues that really plague you or align with your values and just focus on them. Because if you spread yourself thin, you're not having any actual effect on.
But you know what? I'll say this: just as we need to give people the ability to grow, I think some things are very much like they're just really egregious, and there should be a big fine, big penalty paid for those actions. I think we need to push these companies that have the means and the resources to make more change. So just as they did that, they can do other things, because that team name is already done with, and it will be changed before the season commences. So it's, you know, we can push for that, and but also what we like to talk about here, everybody, if you're listening, ownership. Don't always rely on that. But again, even as you're owning something, you can't own everything. So if your favorite whatever avocado ice cream producers once used child labor, guess what? You need to push them. You need to talk, you know, put the right people in place that will hold them accountable legally, financially. So again, or if they want to stick to it, get them the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's that easy. I'm sorry, Starbucks. I'm never coming back. Better coffee shops out there. I'm really just not gonna come back to you. You know, they emailed me.
Hey,
it's your birthday. You didn't show up. I was like, it's an automated email, so like I couldn't send a response. I just unsubscribed, and I'm like, I'm done with y'all.
Right.
That Wi-Fi hit different though when I used to go there.
Yeah. Stalin, anything to add to the cons of it?
I just think it's been like really corrupted. I feel like it started off with like good intentions, but I feel like it's easy for people to be just manipulated really easily. That's why we'll go from like one person one day, and then they're like, hey, over here, let's cancel this person.
Over here, please.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like
let me focus on one. Let me finish one first.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand their point of view. Like, I guess like they're coming from it, I guess, from a good, what's the word I'm looking for? Good intentions, but I feel like it's not being executed correctly in my defense, just from like what I've observed. And I feel like when it comes to that, I don't know. I don't even know I can't even give advice on what the correct route would be. You know,
I think it has to be more of a focus. To Hassan's point, you'll try to like spread yourself too thin. I think we need to go back and focus on the main issue. So if it's prison labor, how do we abolish prison labor? How do we abolish privatized prison systems? So, but again, like even through that, if that aligns with your value system, then hey, along that way, I can still provide an updated list to saying, hey, like, you know, if you so choose, these are some of the people that are still currently using prison labor. How you feel about that? But bigger picture, let's get rid of it. Because if you get rid of that, then where are they gonna pull it from? You know?
Yeah, so just outsource labor like Kylie is doing in Bangladesh.
And that's another issue. So it's just these
they'll
really,
always find ways.
Again,
they'll always find loopholes. I swear to God, like if they could still use child labor in America, they'll use the hell out of it.
Oh yeah.
That's what internships are. I genuinely believe interns should be paid.
Yeah, I mean it's
you can't just, dude. I've seen some posts for internships where it's like you show up from 9 to 5, 3 to 4 days a week.
No pay.
All these responsibilities. You go to the bottom. This internship is unpaid. No, yo, what do you take me for, nigga? Like, I'm working. You're telling me for free before I get a job. Why am I working then? Are you crazy?
Yeah, nah.
I think it's old, especially in the creative industry. People actually exploit that a lot, and those laws should be looked at. You know.
Well, you put to our final point. How do you feel about cancel culture when it comes to creators, when it comes to entertainment? I guess like your entertainment to arts. I feel like that's been like the main source of people that have been getting canceled. But what do y'all think?
I think it's just the easiest people to cancel.
Yeah.
Because they're in the public eye, and like literally when you're a public figure, you have a public brand, and it's like it's easy to dig back in other things in the past, you know. So I'm not really surprised that like the entertainment industry is where most people get canceled, especially. And I don't know, like honestly, like I just think it's like I don't know, it's just a really weird position because I understand the cancel culture perspective, and then I also understand that like it could be done. It could be done better. Not even the creative perspective, because it's like I honestly believe it's like yo, like in my mind, I'm just like, why are you even posting like fucked up shit? You know, and that means like you literally thought about this. You took out your phone, and you fervently believe in this that you had to type it up and post it online, and now there's like a footprint. So it's like in my sense, it's like yo, like I think you should have been a little more self-aware, logical in doing that. And it's like
also like just mind your own business.
Well, you know what? I wanna go on that point you were making, Stalin. I hate when people come out and say, "Hey, this is not me. Doesn't represent me as a person." No, how about we switch the language? Like, hey, these are my beliefs, but I've seen a lot of people sending me new information and a lot of outrage towards it. Can someone show me otherwise or explain to me why this might be wrong? How about we
open to learn?
Yeah, like instead of just saying, "Oh, it's not me. My intention was to never hurt anybody, this, then the third." Like, no, like cut all that bullshit. Like, let's just get to it. My thing is like, if you're about it, then just say it. Like, what's so bad about it? As long as there's nothing crazy, like if you're not doing some crazy things, but it's just like if I just say,
it depends on the action a lot.
Yeah, like it. I just feel like you need to say, "Hey, I'm gonna stick to this so I can grow." For me, when you're thinking about entertainment creators, I still think that there needs to be a lane for certain things. So when we think about comedy, right? And that's one of the first things that came to mind.
Yo, leave comedians alone, man. Damn.
No, I mean, I feel like if you're not as intellectual as someone like Dave Chappelle, right? You probably won't be able to execute certain jokes, right?
Yes.
But
if it's not funny, it's racist.
Exactly, but there's a lot of people who.
Wait. Just because it's funny does it not make it racist?
Comedians are allowed to use that in their form of art. Well, when executed perfectly.
But I think it also depends on the comedian, because if you say like you see a white comedian talking about making racist remarks about black people as comedic, that is still problematic.
Funny. But it's comedy. It's nothing to be taken.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a bad way to look at it. Because
but the comedy doesn't discriminate. Again, this conversation.
I kind of disagree with that.
Comedians make fun of. Then comedy shouldn't exist, because jokes are at the expense of some form of demographic at the end of the day.
I know, but I feel like it should depend on like the kind, because if
you're a clean comedian, but there's also comedy. Then there's
I know, but I don't feel like a white male should be making like jokes about like African Americans and minorities.
Can African Americans make jokes about him, and can the same comedian make jokes about his own culture, other cultures, and other? I think to a point where like
I believe that like
comedians can just talk about whatever as long as it's funny. And
I don't believe in that.
This is my belief. The main reason why comedy exists is to make people laugh, and it's not to be taken as seriously as possible. But if you have your platform and you come out as like openly racist, then we know what you're about, and you're just using this as a way to propagate your views.
But I feel like
check out.
But I feel like that's the thing about me. It's like, okay, just because it's funny, it kind of puts that idea into the people that are listening. That it's like, oh, as long as I say that it's a joke and I say something.
No, but you're not a comedian.
But if it's funny, technically, like
no,
it doesn't matter.
But only comedians are allowed to do that.
But why? Because it only comes down to like the joke.
It's part of. Again, that's what it is. It's a joke. It's supposed to bring. It provides.
Look. Let me say this. Let me say
a long
this.
conversation we can have. Yeah.
Let me say this real quick. I think, again, I'm big on personal responsibility. I feel like we all have the personal responsibility to have the intelligence level to know what's entertainment and what's reality. Yeah. Now, within that entertainment, I agree with you, Stalin. There can be things that are seen as offensive and should not exist in the current climate and moving forward. So, I think we could all agree here. I think Fox News is really disgusting, disturbing, but I think it's up to the viewers to have the personal responsibility to know that, hey, like one person on there, what's his name? Tucker Carlson. He literally was in a lawsuit because I think, and again, I'm sorry if this is not 100% accurate, but something he said, someone took that as gospel and they went out and repeated it, or they some sort of action off of his words. And his lawyer pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, yo, like, what he's saying is pure entertainment. Anybody that's truly believing all this is probably stupid. So again, we have to figure out what's reality and what's entertainment. So going back to comedy, right? I spoke about Dave Chappelle. The reason I bring him up is because that first Netflix special he did when he came back was amazing to me. Now, a lot of people that, I won't say a lot of people, there's some people that, there's different levels to.
A lot of people got offended. Yeah.
Well, no, not even that. There's some people that are simple-minded when it comes to comedy. Some people just want laugh and leave. Like, he said
for that, and there's comedians for that.
Here we go. Like it wasn't just poop. Like no, like that's
I like poop.
that's more like the Kevin Hart lane. You know what I mean? So no, I mean, let's be honest. Like there's
mannerisms.
Kevin Hart is I'm not saying he's not good at what he does. I'm just saying
there's an audience for it. That's
why he's exactly. Money. Yeah. So Dave Chappelle, when I was watching that, because I remember the Chappelle show, there's a story within that whole stand-up. So it's not just, he said this, he did that. Like when he was joking about Bill Cosby, he was literally talking about this, where it was like, okay, you have him doing all of these great things, but he has all of this shit. What do you want to do with it? You know? And at the end of the day, he did agree, like, get him the fuck out of here. But it's true. Like when he was saying he's put all these kids through college. When he had the Cosby Show, he brought on I think a psychiatrist, whoever, to make sure there was nothing mentally harming on the show, or there was no negative images of Black folks on the show. And then the list just went on and on and on. And that's why Bill Cosby was just looked at in such like this aura, like, wow, like Bill Cosby. But then you find out about, all it's the really,
disgusting.
That's the thing. Now, do I think he should have the ability to come out and say, hey guys, like, nah, hell no. Like, no. Like, you don't get that. But I still think whatever he did, like positive wise, like that should still be somewhere in history. Now, no one has to celebrate it, but someone could then say, hey, like, that's some really positive things that he was doing right here. Maybe I can pull from that and try to make a true difference.
Yeah, so, as long as it's not the negatives, and you
of course. Yeah. But with the comedy, I feel that you have to again, when someone says they're offended, I think that should be enough, unless you're able to frame it in a way where I'm showing you why it's silly. The other Chappelle thing that he did, where again, and this is something that I'm like, okay, because some people are like, wow, he really just said that. He just came out and said it. But the point that I think people.
Why do you think he won the prize?
Oh yeah, but people, they missed the point. Was that he said that he was at some network and they were like, well, you can't say this, and he said, okay, but I can still say nigga. And then they're like, yeah. And he's like, well, I'm not a nigga though, or I'm not a nigger. And it's like, well, and then that made him uncomfortable.
Yeah, but, I remember him saying that. I was like, shit, yeah.
And I'll say this, in America, for that particular situation that he was speaking on, I would say that they've done a really good job with, I guess you would say, marketing the LGBTQ community as a stronger white male.
Yeah.
And I'm not anybody's view, and I'm not trying to be offensive, like literally just speaking on to like how they tried to like, curb that. Now, when we went out to the protests for Black Trans Lives Matter, we saw like a lot of people, but majority of it were, they were white people, but guess what? They were out there. We were all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was, trans folks, probably bisexual folks, gay folks, straight folks. Everybody was there.
Patrick, it was me.
Yeah, they don't frame it. They don't put it in that framing, but because that movement grew so much, that's what they were telling Dave, like, oh, you can't say that. So now we're in the spot where, hey, guess what? You can't show up like this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. So, and I think all of it is from a place of discomfort, because people that created a word feel like, I should be able to say this. I've been, demeaning you, calling you this.
My point is that, you sitting there laughing at all these other jokes, but as soon as it relates to you, it's a problem. Like Dave has made a lot of jokes against Africa, not against, but like jokes with the African American community, a lot of other different people. You're sitting there laughing, but as soon as it kind of touches on you, hey, you can't do that. But if he can't do that, then he shouldn't even do comedy to start with, because it was at the expense of these other people. But also, I agree with Stalin, and there's different types of comedy for different people. If you can't handle the flagrant stuff, I wouldn't advise you to go to a flagrant comedy show. Also, I know a couple of comedians personally. If you guys would like, I could invite one of them over and we can have this conversation with them as well on how they go about the jokes and why comedians are allowed to say a lot of those things that they do say, be it disruptive or offensive to some people and acceptable to other people as well. But if you look at the art of comedy, comedians actually really take this seriously. They're against censorship on their art, because they should be allowed to express themselves as long as it's funny.
True.
And
yeah, I don't.
Some comedians even make jokes with 9/11. This is actual people died from this, and to this day, the people that still make jokes with that, and people will still laugh at it. And it's a thing. It's part of their art. Obviously, people know that they're not just really out there saying, "Oh, well, these people really deserve to die," blah blah. It's just they're on stage. That's part of their art, and that's how they also. Like I was even watching Seinfeld yesterday, and they made some jokes. So I was like, oh, "Wait a minute!" It was the dentist episode, and they were like, "Oh, what do you call a doctor that failed med school?" And they're like, "Dentist." and then after she said that dentist joke, she also was like, "Well, get the blacks and Jews out of here."
Oh,
that's funny to some people. That's funny. I laughed. I'm sorry. But some people will sit there and like, if this show was a modern show now, people were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Why would he say that? And I get it, but also, it's not serious.
Yeah. Stalin, what were you saying?
Stalin, yeah, you were saying something.
Yeah, I don't believe in censorship either, but I do believe it's the responsibility of the person saying these jokes that are, like, they should be aware of how it might affect certain people and how they're going to take it. Because it's like you and I have a clear understanding that it is comedy, right?
Yeah.
And might take it. There's going to be other people out there that would be like, if I make these remarks in a comedic fashion, then it's going to be okay. So it's that I have the problem with, and that I feel like we have to be more conscious of.
But if you're not a comedian, you just want to go outside.
But that's the thing.
Jokes,
but that's the thing. No one's a comedian in the beginning, because everyone starts from somewhere.
You need to be on stage in order to be afforded that luxury. You can't just, if it's in a writing room or some form of, again, I understand you, but you're putting the a regular person in the shoes of a comedian, and I wouldn't go out there and say I'm a
But
comedian
that's
unless
what
I'm
I'm
okay
saying. A
saying
comedian is still a regular person. It's just that they're getting paid to like make jokes.
Yeah.
but that's their sort of like art. That's sort of their art. And again,
But okay. But
it
here's
also comes
something.
down to
Here's
like
something.
the
If
behavioral.
let's what
When
if
you're
I
done, I'll make my point.
what if I do what if I make a painting with a swastika on it and I call it art? Is that right?
I'm not well versed within that, like space to comment on it.
Look, I'll say
But there are
this.
people that use that in their
Look,
art, and they
I
put a
was
freaking
I was
flag on
highly
his
look.
jacket and it's sold. They
I
put a
was
Confederate flag and it's sold.
I was highly
That
offended about the dude taping the fucking banana to the wall and calling that shit art. I was like, you know what? Get this motherfucker.
you have to replace the thing yourself. Back to what Stalin was saying. Actually, there's still movies that talk about slavery. And we have white people in these movies saying the N word with the hard R, but we still differentiate it as like they're acting. Outside of that, they're like there's Leonardo DiCaprio. But I wouldn't watch that movie because I don't like seeing that, But there's an audience for it. We have Django Unchained with this. What's the director's name again? The one that has
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. His movies are crazy controversial most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're controversial too.
Yeah, but it's still allowed. I think art is kind of like it's open to everyone to express yourself as long as your individual character doesn't reflect those values. If you're walking out here with a swastika on your shirt and you're walking in my hood, I'm gonna clock you. You're gonna get hit. I'm sorry. It's just that. But if it's a part of your art and I don't see you exhibiting those same values or those same notions in real life, then it's not for me. But maybe there's someone that would look at that and consider that art. But to me, it's not. And it's the same thing with comedy. But also with the advent of this whole Black Lives Matter thing, a lot of comedians that have platforms came out and talked about it and used it to, spread the message. Like this one comedian that's really notorious for his flagrant takes that honestly I like flagrant comedy, but that's just me. Andrew Schultz, like he made videos and really went out there and actually supported the cause, regardless of the crazy jokes he makes. Like his jokes are like, if you don't know comedy and you went to a show, you're gonna get up and start screaming. But there's an audience for him, and he knows that audience is who he's catering to. And outside of that, he's not that person. But then again, who am I to say he's not that person? Maybe he is, but I just like that type of comedy.
I mean, I think part of you has to be to pull that out of you, to pull that. You know what I'm saying? If you're making,
but it's not necessarily just against one thing. He's making.
Oh jokes. No, I know that. I'm saying like,
yeah,
there has to be something in you to do particular things. Like there has to be something in you to do comedy, stand up there on stage, to have people not laugh at you, boo you, whatever. That has to be you. There has to be something in you to do particular things. Like just as if you were in the military and you were fighting, like there has to be something in you to like not freeze up, to like get shit popping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll freeze up ASAP. Like, Are you hurt?
You know what I'm saying?
Use some water. That's me. But
now, again, like those two things, like, and the list can go on and on. I don't think you being able to do particular things makes you a bad or good person. You know what I'm saying?
It depends on your audience and who you are as a person. I get it. Like there's a lot of people that don't go to comedy shows because they can't take it, and rightfully so. It's not within their sort of characteristics to understand that. I also think we should bring a comedian here to explain it better, because I'm not a comedian and I'm not really like. I was on stage, man. And like we could look at different types of comedians. Look at Hassan Minaj. You don't expect him to come out there and say some crazy stuff that will happen. Yeah, but sometimes even on the show, people give him the ooh because the joke went kind of too far.
I mean, he knows
that explains his audience to you. So each comedian kind of has their own niche and their own style of comedy, and it's up to you as the listener to know who you're gonna go see. Like, do your research before. Like, if I'm on a college campus, I wouldn't make jokes that offensive, because I know the audience there, and I know what they believe in, and I know that they're really outspoken, and they will stand out and disrupt my show. So I'll make jokes that are relatable to them. But if I'm not that type of comedian, then I wouldn't book a college show.
True. Or you can tailor it to your audience. You got to know your audience
too. Exactly that. So if you're at a place that, but I really do feel like comedians are awarded that luxury. But that's just me. But also, if you guys are really down, I know a couple comedians. Like I said, we can invite one of them on this podcast.
Nah, bro, you can't.
With them.
Nah, bro, you can't.
You can't. No one can cancel.
Nah, you can't.
I'm still gonna go to bed, wake up, and go have a great day.
So.
Cancel me.
You know what? Hey, look. We not even doing this podcast in person yet, so I'm gonna just delete you from this call.
I'm gonna start a new podcast. Put your mic. It's just me and the camera, baby. Let's go.
It's going malfunction.
Malfunction? You just see me up there in the street everywhere.
It's gonna catch on
fire. That would
even
push me to work more. I call it the Himsy. Hassan made me say it.
You see him come out with a YouTube video tomorrow, like, what happened with Tia?
All lowercase letter.
Talking to Vlad.
We're talking to Vlad. I really didn't want this to get here. I really didn't want to talk about this at all. But again, the people have asked. How many people? 2 people asked. 2 people DM'd me. And I feel like the white table talk.
The white table talk.
I was entangled with the podcast.
Oh no, hell no! You ain't entangled here.
We didn't even discuss that. Wait, before we go, man, let's end on this note. Stalin, what are your takes on entanglement?
My takes?
Yeah. What do you think of the whole entanglement issue?
I don't know, man. I mean, if they were in an open relationship, it's like.
Oh no, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, her use of the word entanglement to kind of bring light to the situation. What do you feel about that? Again, we don't care what they do. They could all have like side whatever they're doing. That's fine. Her justifying.
I don't know. I feel like that's the way she actually viewed it. Like, I don't think she saw it as a romantic relationship. I think she just saw it as an entanglement.
For 4 years. For 4 years.
I mean, the guy should have known that she was married in an open relationship.
But that's quite a while to like.
Yeah, side nigga ship doesn't last for like a whole year. It only lasts
but that's the thing. Like, you only see it like from that perspective. It's like we don't know how it is when you get older as an adult. Perhaps like, you know, it was like an agreement that it's like she's happy with Will Smith and the guy was just happy, like just, you know, being like a side.
You know what? If that was the case, I don't think the guy would have stayed.
I'll say this.
Yeah, but I don't think we should just like be blaming Jada because the guy was like there for 4 years as well.
Yeah,
but he should have known as well.
She's an older person, and it depends on how she brought it up to her.
Yeah, but listen, like, we shouldn't just blame her because it was like 2 people in it. And it's like, if she had the agreement with Will Smith to be in an open relationship, it's like.
Oh, I'm not blaming that at all. I'm just saying, and that instance where the guy caught feelings because she said, hey, I'm going to help you heal, and we're going to do all these things. I'm going to take you to shows. We're going to go on vacations. We're going to do everything people do in a relationship. But I wouldn't call it that for 4 whole years, and then I'll just discard you to the side after my husband comes back.
But I feel like that's just how some people are. Like, I've been in like situations where it's like,
doesn't it mean that you use the guy?
No, not if you have clear communication. The other guy should have been like more self-aware and emotionally intelligent to be like, hey, I don't think I can. She was
also in a dark place. Like, I don't think you've watched their interview with August, where she was kind of being like this huge. I don't want to use mom figure because that'll just make this whole thing disgusting.
I mean, she did.
She was kind of like,
son.
Yeah, she was kind of like a big part of his life when he was struggling with drug addictions and depression and all of that. And if she had just kept it as that, I feel like their relationship would have just been that. But because, again, lust or whatever got involved, then she got it intertwined with it. The kid got confused.
I don't think so, man. Because I feel like you can have that, but still care for a person and want the best for them.
No. Stop it. Like, if you're in a dark place and you're looking at someone for comfort and motivation, like your reason, I don't want to say reason to live, but someone is dragging you out the pits of like depression, and then you kind of somehow romantically get involved, it's really difficult to not have feelings in there, especially since this is
Yeah,
the
but I feel like you should know that as a person. Like you should know yourself.
Look.
It's like if I'm in a dark spot, it's like it clearly means that I shouldn't be in any sort of like relationship, because that kind of like it's already kind of like showing that I'm gonna end up catching feelings.
I think she pursued him.
I mean, we don't know, but that's the thing. We can't assume anything because we don't know the end of the story. We just hear what was said, you know. And even
we even clear enough.
And yeah, and even then we don't know what's true. So it's like at the end of the day, for me, like that thing doesn't really matter. Like for her, she used the word entanglement. That's the way I saw it. I was like, okay, that's what she sees it. If other people want to use it like that to justify like what they're having, so be it. But as long as it doesn't affect me, it doesn't. Because I believe I'm a person that's like clear with communication, and it's like, yeah, if this is just gonna be like something that we both like no feelings, like nothing serious, and we just want to be like casually dating for like, you know, to like, you know, we all have physical needs, and it's like we agree to like help each other out, okay.
Once.
Yeah, but it's no, but it's like I've had like relationships where it's just like we're just friends with benefits, but it's like we keep the communication clear, and it's like if you're starting to catch feelings, like just let me know, because I think that would be the time to just like end it and just be friends, you know.
But you know what? I want to say this real quick. I feel like, I mean, I agree that yes, if you've made some sort of agreement, then that should be understood. But let's be honest, that's rarely the case once you get physically involved with somebody. So then we have to also look at, just as we're talking about cancel culture, there's always another side to the coin. I've seen people where situations do change. So someone could be involved with someone just for, you know, friends with benefits, whatever the fuck you want to label it as. It is what it is. But I've seen it, like I've worked with somebody where she told me like, yo, like her husband was kind of like just, I don't know, rebound, friends with benefits. I can't remember what the story was, but they ended up getting married. So there's actually things that can develop. So I would say this. Yeah, she could have said something in the beginning like, hey, this is what it's going to be. But to Hassan's point, like after like, and again, I don't know the facts, nor do I really care, but after 4 years, I mean, it's kind of like, damn, like, okay, like it's been 4 years, like it's going pretty good. You know, so I could see where someone would start to think like this might actually go somewhere, and I feel hopeful for it, you know? Now, yeah. I'll say this, with the entanglement thing, I think that, I'll say this, when I watched it, she said that, and then Will's reaction was like, no, like say what you actually mean. And I feel like a lot of people, and it's kind of like a politician, they'll do all this trickery and jump through hoops and not say what they actually mean. So for me, like if you were with someone for 4 years, that's not, you were just knocking boots. Like, nah, like that would be like a month or two, whatever. Like,
dude, again, she was on the red carpet, playing with this nigga's nipple on the red carpet. Like,
whatever, that don't mean nothing. But it's just like, if you invest in multiple years, that's kind of like, that's why he was like, no, like a relationship. She's like, yeah, I guess you could. No, ain't no guessing. Like, that's what it was.
Also like her mannerisms and her just justifying the thing with, I was in a bad place, I was trying. Just say what you did. Just again, I get it. You're just trying to heal, but like,
she doesn't have to justify anything, because if they were truly separated, she didn't do anything wrong.
No, I'm not saying she did. I don't care if she did anything.
Right. Okay.
But like, just say, yo, this is what it is, and that's it. Beating around the bush and finding all these, oh, I was trying to heal, I was reaching out to heal.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But you don't know. Like maybe that was the truth. You're just. What? I think you're just. But like, I honestly believe, like, I'm not going to attack you, but I feel like you're seeing it from your perspective, and I don't feel like you're trying to understand her.
Well, I think no. Listen. I don't think it's from his perspective. I think it's from the perspective of a man. If a grown man got at the table and say, you know, the energies weren't right, and I was trying to heal, and I was saging. And
then I saw her ass, and it's like, God damn.
They'd have been like, yo, get this dude out of here. People would have been so mad at Will if he would have, if the shoe would have been on the other foot, and we know that, right? But again,
a lot of people actually believe that makes sense, the whole energy thing, and I'm like, yo.
I mean, I honestly, the energy thing, I do believe, because at the end of the day, we are like,
exchange that with people.
Yeah, we are literally made from like the same concept. Like all of the universe
But that's
is
not
just
what I'm
energy.
asking. I'm just asking what happened. Don't tell me all these energy stuff.
But that's the thing, Hassan. They don't have why they have no responsibility to tell us about their relationship.
Oh no, I'm saying Will's asking her. I'm not asking. Nigga, again, I really like. I wouldn't even talk about this if it wasn't gonna be. Funny.
Look.
Yeah, but I honestly think it was honestly at the end of the day for publicity as well. Like that's like
they had to say something about it, and that's why they went out there and said something.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't have to.
Yeah, they didn't have to. They just chose to. And in August too, like the way he did it was just pretty much publicity. And it's like, when it comes to things like that, it's like, like at the end of the day, it's like it was your relationship. Like after a year, you should have at least been like, so what is this? Like I've been in dark places with people, and even then, I'd been like, like I really need to like understand what this is, because it's like we got to see where we're moving forward. But for 4 years, it's like we can't just blame one person or the other. I think it was like.
But you know what? I think that if it did go 4 years, and then there was definitely some miscommunication or no communication at all. So if you're just, again, I don't know, whatever, if you're just leading someone to believe something and you're not saying anything, then that's on you. If you are, then that's on them.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, if Dude was truly like her son's friend and this and third, I think at the end of the day, I truly believe there's some people you just don't need to be physically involved with.
Yeah, but that's your
man or woman. Like there's just some people where it's like that person don't need to share that experience with you. What are you about to say?
Yeah. No, back to the publicity thing Stalin mentioned. It's interesting to see that the Red Table Talk has I heard a commercial for it. I don't know where I was. I heard a commercial for it as being a podcast or like somewhere right after they did that. Like it was being pushed somewhere, some form of podcast or like, yeah. So it's interesting to see if it's for publicity, but I think this brought a lot of attention to the Red Table Talk as it is. And they might actually sign to one of the major DSPs.
Makes sense. We done?
Yeah. We're done.
Any more thoughts?
I mean, hey, if anyone is looking for entanglements out there, just hit your boy up.
All right, anyway, so we are...
People have to practice clear communication, which is I'm still working on.
Entangle me.
But you need to even if it's just an entanglement, you need to communicate that.
Yo,
it's really important for the person's feelings in yourself.
Look, my hands are free. You can entangle me. Okay, I'm kidding.
This ain't Kama Sutra, bro.
I've been doing it. Actually, Thursdays or Fridays are my yoga days to stretch and that 10-minute yoga thing you sent, don't freaking mean it.
Nah, those are your entangled days.
There ain't no one here to be entangled with anyways. I'm going to go play soccer.
Where the stimulus check going?
My savings, straight up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just that and Whole Foods. Not Whole Foods, Trader Joe's.
So you buying the prepared food for somebody? I see it.
Myself? What the yo? Why is this nigga reaching? I'm not supposed to eat. Oh, you buying the prepared food for somebody? You're not supposed to have any calories in your system whatsoever.
It's like, I'm bulking, bro. I'm bulking.
You know you be fasting. Stop lying.
Ramadan was 2 months ago, my nigga. Oh, you know you be fasting. Yeah.
All right. Yo, look, y'all. Thank you for listening again.
Let's do something. Someone give like a quote of the day or a word of the day or something. Just
the word of the day. Personal responsibility. Please research and use what's in your skull. Use your brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Is that cojones? Is that what cojones mean?
No, that's your nuts.
I am so sorry. Do not use your cojones. Think with your head. The real one.
Exactly. All right. Please subscribe if you like us, if you hate us, if you're indifferent
with the podcast.
If you would like for us to start this book club, I don't know, whatever it is.
I actually would love a book club.
Okay, cool. And yeah, we'll have more content for y'all. Subscribe.
And we're working on a few things.
Comment, feedback. Anything else y'all like to share? Final thoughts?
As usual, my IG is Hassan GHQ. We have Stalin. You wanna? This nigga don't even want to be here.
No, sorry. They're hitting me up about like cameras and work.
So no, I feel you. We're almost out.
I was like, They're like, I want to get your camera because like she's so crisp. I'm like, nah, invest in Black Magic.
Oh, tell them you know a Ghanaian. You have the pure Black Magic.
I'm dead. Yeah, I'm just gonna say like, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and leave us any topics that you guys would want us to like talk about. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like cancel culture can be problematic. I feel like it's started from a good place, but it's kind of corrupted. And I think we just need to have like a room open for discussion, because a lot of like I feel like a lot of people don't realize that like a lot of like racism comes from ignorance that's like taught. And in order to like change that, like you can't just cancel it because it's still going to be there. What you need to do is like talk about it and like, you know, try to make that person understand if you can. You know, that's the only thing. That's the only way you're going to change the paradigm. But then there's other things, like when it comes to sexual assault and rape, like, yeah, like that's definitely like should be canceled, and it shouldn't be a person that's like a role model in society.
That's on the general consensus.
You know? That's like, it's just fucked up, man.
Well, some people.
yeah,
some people.
That's just messed up.
But yeah,
all right, y'all.
Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah. Peace. Oh, we're gonna make the Timsy IG page to post clips on soon. We'll let you guys know when that is. If it's made, it's gonna be in the descriptions of all our videos. So go support, like it. I mean, like our post, but also follow us over there as well. Exactly. And as usual, it's your boy, Mr. Lasso My Skin. You have.
Who you pointing at?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Producer Pats.
And executive.
And Mr. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Styling movie chicken. Oh, not know what else.
Is that me? Am I a Marshall Lynch? Is that me?
Yeah. That's you, sir. You have some skills on your desk the next time.
Some skill.
Nah, I'm here for my Spotify deal. You heard?
Alright, it's gonna put it out there in the world. It's gonna happen.
Spotify, give me 8 years. 8 years and we'll get a deal.
8 years?
Latest. 8 years. If we continue this, I'm telling you, we'll get a big ass deal.
And it's coming, right?
We'll have that nice check.
Hey, look, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music.
Vote, nigga. Niggas hey, all DSPs. Amazon.
All right, man.
All right, well,
thanks, guys.
All right.
Peace.